report of final action in closed session. And nothing directly reportable.
Right. I think we have things.
Yep. So we'll move on to approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve unless there are changes.
There is one change. We are removing item 9.4, the public disclosure collective bargaining, because nothing has been ratified by our organizations.
That would make sense.
Removing.
9.4. Okay. So we have a motion to approve the amended agenda.
I move to approve the amended agenda.
Second?
All in favor? Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. All right, do we have any public comment on the non-agenda items? All right, next item is item 3.5, our oral recommendation for the superintendent salary for the 25-26 year. Now, why do we have this as 5 and 6?
So we have 25, 26, and 26, 27. So there's the oral recommendation, and then there's the consideration of possible action.
Okay, so the 5 is just the readout of the recommendation. Thank you for that clarification. All right. So for the 25-26, I recommend that the superintendent receive a 5% salary increase, which is commensurate with the average increase approved for other FBUSD certificated staff on October 16th, 2025. And if my recommendation is approved effective July 1st, 2025, the superintendent's resulting salary for the 25-26 year would be $194,394. And then for the 26-27, the superintendent has received an overall satisfactory evaluation. Therefore, as provided in the employment contract, I further recommend that the superintendent receive a 2% step increase. My recommendation is approved effective July 1st, 2026. The superintendent's resulting salary for the 26-27 year would be $198,282, which then brings us to 3.6, consider impossible action regarding superintendent salary. Any public comment on the salary, Renee? No. Anything in the room? No? Okay.
So I make a motion to approve the language read by Vice
President?
Sage Statham for the superintendent salary for the 25-26 and the 26-27 school year.
First by trustee Paoli.
Second.
Second. All right, all in favor? Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
No opposed. All right. Moving on to our.
I want to do a roll call.
You want to do a roll call on that? Yeah.
Certainly do
Let's do a roll call, Renee.
that. Okay, trustee Paoli,
Yes.
trustee Schneider,
Yes.
and trustee Statham.
Aye.
And the motion carries.
All right. Now we'll move on to our patriotic exercise. Trustee Schneider.
Yes, so today we recognize Juneteenth, a meaningful milestone, well, tomorrow, but today we'll recognize it because we're here. A meaningful milestone in our nation's journey toward freedom and equality. On June 19th, 1865, more than 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, enslaved people in Galveston, Texas, finally received the news that they were free. Juneteenth reminds us that the promise of liberty and justice requires continued commitment to equity, inclusion, and ensuring every person has the opportunity to thrive. As a school community, we honor this history by learning from the past, recognizing diverse experiences, and working together to create a future where every student feels valued and supported.
Thank you very much. All right, moving on to agenda item 5, communication. Any communications
I have not.
in the last week? Yeah.
I know.
All right, moving on to agenda item 6, then public comment on agenda items.
No, there's no addition.
No
There's
additional.
no other comment.
All right, we will then move on to reports. 7.1 food service nutrition report.
Moving fast. Hi. Well, not a lot to report today. I'm Pilar Gray, Director of Nutrition Services. I don't know that we've actually met before. So 25, 26, our meal participation held pretty steady from last year. We're still half the kids every day are eating lunch. We got 58% of our kids eating breakfast, which was about a 2% increase from last year. So that's nice. We got some one-time funds to share a little bit with you. We are got a new round of kitchen infrastructure and training money. You might recall we had received some of that before. Yay, they gave us more. Not as much, but we'll take any penny we can get, right? So they gave us $72,352. The grant period is from July 1 of 25 through June 30th of 2028. But we just got the funds on May 11th of 2026.
Of course.
But thankfully they're giving us until June of 2028, so we have some time. We're already on it. Just ordered new sinks and new ovens for Fulbright Middle School, which is desperately needed. The sinks have been leaking for years. The maintenance guys can't possibly put any more bond on it. I mean, they tried, but it's time. And the ovens just don't look right. So we're doing that. Some new hot holding cabinets for high school. We have a wish list of things that we want to do. We're hoping to try to put in a new serving counter at Redwood Kitchen this summer. But the funds came in so late, it's just too tight to pull it off this summer. But hopefully next summer. So we're in our conversation of that to try to get things front loaded early enough to get that done. And we need to replace our aging refrigeration, we need a new pallet jack for the warehouse, just basic needs. So I think our wish list exceeds the award, but we're prioritizing it, obviously. We also got a nifty little sum of money for what they're calling retention and recruitment funds. This is brand new. They've never done this before. It's not a lot of money. It's $10,555. It is intended to support retention and recruitment of school nutrition professionals. And we don't really have recruitment issues per se. I mean, every so many years when somebody leaves, we do, but mostly our staff stays. I think we have good job satisfaction in my department. They tend to stick around. But there's other opportunities for it, including bonuses for employees, training opportunities. They've put some interesting parameters around it. That's going to complicate things a little bit for us. Particularly that it has to be a minimum allocation of $2,500 per position. So at $10,000, that kind of limits us down to 4 positions, right?
Right.
So at this time, I feel like we're just gonna sit on it for a minute because we have until 2028, June of 2028 to figure this out. They've already changed some of the parameters, I mean, before they even released the money. So I feel like they're gonna be getting a lot of, yeah, you didn't think that went through very well kind of comments from us out here in the field to see what happens. When it does come time to figure it out, we're gonna need input from all interested parties, the school board, parent groups, the unions, of course, the staff, and me, to see, how we're gonna work with this money. I've got some ideas, but again, I wanna wait and see what they come back with what you can and cannot do.
Sure.
So my gut settings are probably gonna tweak that a little bit. Okay. We are getting close to the end of our California Department of Food and Agriculture Farm to School grant. I told you about this last year. It was a $200,000 grant. We did a lot of work on our high school farm here. We completely overhauled the middle school garden. Those projects are essentially done. That grant period ends in December of 2026. So we still have a little left to spend. We spent this year about $21,000 of that grant just for produce for the school meals, local produce, specifically local produce, which is really exciting. We spent another, about $3,500 on local produce for educational purposes, mostly harvest of the month and that sort of thing. We, with the funds, have hired a consultant, Julie Castillo. You probably know, she was our garden nutrition educator for decades. And there's no expert grader, in my opinion, on farm to school garden education. It's so helpful. so helpful, particularly since we've had so many staff changing in our ag department. So she's been there helping them out, they're going, what do you plan, how do you do this? And just coaching them through the whole thing. So it's been a real gift to have her there. Let's see, what else I want to tell you about that. Lots of supplies have been purchased, wood chips, soil, tools, ladders. We've got some hot plates for some Redwood teachers who like to do all the cooking demos and stuff in their classroom. And just ordered today a new hoop house for our brand new campus right over here. So New Alternative High School is going to have a brand new hoop house when the kids arrive. Hopefully everything goes according to plan. So that'll be fun. And we have it in our budget to take our entire farm school team to the California Department of Food and Ag Conference this fall. And that'll be in Sacramento. So we're gonna go do that and do some team building and see what they have to say. We are continuing our Harvest of the Month as we have been. The grant has been funding it. I'm hoping for another round of grants. I know CDFA is working on it. I just met with our Northern California rep the other day, talking about what that grant's gonna look like. We always have a really good chance with these grants. We're in very excellent standing with CDFA for all the work that we've done. And they offer us up as a model to other school districts. So we tend to do well when we apply for the grants. So fingers crossed we get more so we can continue funding the Harvest of the Month and our gardens, because there's always something that they need, always something. And let's see, our Fish to Fork program, it went really well this year. Noyo Fish Company is now supplying the fish for us, which has been really great. So it's fun to be able to serve local fish to our kids here in Fort Bragg. Last thing on my little list here is our Health and Wellness Council. We've had minimal participation, which is understandable. People have got a lot going on. So this year we really focused on rock and roll. It's a school day. And it's been a lot of fun. Our Fort Bragg PD and our Fort Bragg Fire Department come out, make it extra fun and extra safe. And it's a special event. And it's just a fun thing to do. So that's kind of where we've been at with that. To this extent, that's what I have to say today. Unless anyone has any questions for me.
If you missed it, at the middle school graduation, you did get a shout out there from the during the speech at graduation for all the lunch ladies. So
It was very, that was
was-
very sweet.
Aw, so well deserved. They work so hard, put a lot of heart and soul into their cooking for those kids, so.
Well, and I was thinking, we really don't have a retention recruitment issue with food services. It's the same, from decades. Everyone just, like you said, that must be their jam. They like to cook and they want to see the kids, like they want to feed the kids. Like it's just positive.
That's their jam. Is that
That's their
is
jam.
that-
Yeah, no pun intended.
It is. We have I'm so lucky right now. We've had some really solid teams running steady for a number of years now, and it makes all the difference.
Yeah.
It's a small kitchen, small team.
Wood
If
here
it's
for
not
all.
going right, it's hard, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some really wonderful employees on my team, and they work really hard every day to do the best they can for these kids, and they really care. They want to make the food delicious and fresh, and work with the local produce, get the produce out of the gardens over here, and feed it to the kids, and,
And we're super fortunate to have Pilar leading the department. She does an amazing job, and regionally and statewide, I mentioned her name, and people are like, oh yeah, I've heard of Pilar.
Well, that's what makes it easy to work for you, is that you're so diversified with all the avenues, because you're really hitting everything. Everything that you would envision for gardens and food and feeding kids. And the health and wellness, maybe at the board level, or at the little meetings, aren't very well attended, but the kids love that event. They are so happy. And I'm sure, I would like to know the data from that day. Like, I bet they're more productive. I bet they write more because they're getting fresh air first thing in the morning.
well, it really is a beautiful way to start the day.
It is. It makes me,
I've had kids say, can we do this once a week?
I would do it every day. I would do it every day.
Right.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pilar.
All right, moving on to 7.2 transportation report.
All right, so there were a few things attached for the transportation report. There was an actual just kind of written summary outlining just some of the updates with things. I'll let you read over that in detail, but it just highlighted some of the challenges we faced with our electric buses. It's great for home to school transportation, but just keeps us from some of the long range trips because then we have to rely on our diesel buses. But we do have all of our chargers installed. and we drove about 75,000 miles this year. So,
And then bus drivers, it said that they're still,
yeah, so our
the
core
licensing?
group, we're great. It's just getting substitute bus drivers right now so that when we
for
do
sports.
out of town trips and
Yeah.
things like that, we can still have coverage. Because right now it ends up being, we modify the routes somehow or double up routes. That kind of thing. So,
Or rely on volunteers that are approved to drive.
Yeah. For next year, we will switch one of the bus drivers to having a second special education route because right now our special ed bus is just bursting at the seams.
Mm.
And then also included on the agenda were there was a regional, or maybe it was statewide, survey on electric school bus operations, but specifically for rural areas. So you can read over that if you're interested, just to see kind of what some of those other folks are saying about it.
Not happy.
They're not happy.
No,
It's interesting.
No, I mean the thing is the buses are great, but
Are we
not
happy?
on hills.
I mean it's wonderful around Fort Bragg. I'm very happy with them in that regard, but those buses aren't leaving Fort Bragg on anything but a flat bed right now until the technology changes.
Wow.
Well, and I was so got sick when they were, they kind of had our arm behind our back by saying, oh, we'll give you these two, but we're going to like break your other good diesel, buses. That just seemed a little bit, didn't feel good. Like I was saying, like
Take
this,
A perfectly
But
fine vehicle and
yeah, and
destroy it.
for us, but
When we said, wouldn't the environmentally friendly thing be to maybe retrofit the buses? I mean, especially when you got on the bus and you're like, wow, this looks like that one we just destroyed.
I mean, it's tough because when you take free money, you have to go follow the rules. So I guess.
And along that line, we did get $24,000 this week from PG&E, their rebates on our chargers.
How much is
So
it?
$24,000.
Okay.
Cover all the cost of the chargers, but it certainly helped offset some.
Great.
And what was the other one?
Well, I believe we're still waiting on the other one,
Oh, okay.
Barry said.
Gotcha.
So I'm sure financially we're probably better with the electric, but it's affecting kids. What I don't like, the kids got,
For sure.
we couldn't go on a couple of field trips and if they got rescheduled. Staff or busing for sports is difficult. So I don't enjoy that. We're all here for the kids.
Yeah.
They can't get it there everywhere. So hopefully that improves.
But we are down, depending on the year, which you're looking at, around between $35,000 and $40,000 in diesel costs.
Yeah. So financially, I knew it would probably be better, but
So financially, there is a benefit there, but
Yeah.
they let us keep on the nicer diesel buses. We probably would have been in okay shape. We had a third. So.
Okay. Are any other questions? We'll go on to 7.3, the superintendent report.
So we looked at the local LCAP local indicators last week. I'm not going to belabor that. That was on that meeting. They're here. They have to be presented at the same meeting at which we approved the LCAP. So that's why they're here. I also have the community schools site implementation plans. Again, just a requirement that they actually be presented to the board at least once annually. They'll be placed on our website as well early next week. And that's just a grant requirement there. And then finally, our site goals. So this may be one that you want to spend a little bit more time reviewing before we try to meet with Nicole in July. I had each of the site leaders kind of go through and take our district goals and put them into what does that look like at the site. And then we can talk a little bit more about what metrics you might like to see reported back to you out of those. I think that's just the next natural step in our progression here so that then they can also take and disseminate those goals back out to their sites so they understand kind of how it's flowing from your priorities to LCAP all the way down to site level.
So will we have Redwood or some? just maybe
We will. I
oral
want to give
representation of it. 'Cause I know that this is tough with the transition.
yeah, I want to give Kirsten a minute to
Yeah.
try to assess that. I didn't want to dictate what those goals should be. she knows pretty well what they should be, but
Yeah,
we'll have those set
okay,
within, I'm hoping by the end of September or so.
okay. So we won't really consider that in July. Yeah, gotcha.
I mean, we
So we
can
know.
talk about what some of the things we can report to you
Mhm.
are and how
Okay.
that might reflect on our goals. So we'll certainly have something, but I want to give her some time to connect with her staff and
Okay.
make the meaningful goals. So,
So my one feedback on all these courses we have, a lot of them are, increase this, but we're not actually giving ourselves a target goal on any of them of like, what do we think, so if we're at 38% now, do we think we're gonna hit 39 or 45,
Right.
or
What's
75?
realistic?
Yeah, what is, and so that's, it's that measurable part.
Yep.
Because technically 38.1 would still be an increase.
0.38.
Yeah. Okay. That everything from you, Joe?
Yes.
All right, moving on to the approval of agenda consent items, which we have no personnel reports that we're approving, 6 contracts, and approving the interns as of 6/16/26. And no obsolete item surplus? No? Okay. All right, so can I
So move the consent items?
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Motion carries there. All right, on to our action items, starting with 9.1, the 26-27 LCAP.
Okay. So I received no feedback on our LCAP. So I think we're in good shape to move forward with approval unless there's any more questions or concerns about anything.
So this will roll out for this next year and then we'll get a new instrument and.
Yeah. So this time next year, we'll be probably looking at a whole different document. Just about guaranteed, knowing the state. And there may be, depending on how the budget trailer bills play out, one proposal out there says that we may have to revisit and do a LCAP revision for one of the one-time funding sources or something. So we'll see if that makes it into the final print or not. But that was a proposal out there.
Renee, did we get any public comment on this one? All right, so a motion to this then.
I move to approve the 2026-27 local control and accountability plan.
I'll second.
First and second, Renee, can we get a roll call?
Trustee Schneider?
Yes.
Trustee Paoli?
Yes.
Trustee Stevens?
Aye.
Motion
All right, 9.2, 26-27 FBUSD budget.
Okay, so there's the budget narrative slides. We've got all the information there.
I added the slides on Monday so that you could review them in some words a little more from a upper point of view. Basics. Just with the budget, just the ongoing review of revenues and our expenses in not only salary and benefits, but our other ones, and just really continued watching and reviewing and continuing the budget committee meetings that I kind of think that should just keep going in good times and bad. And then that way everyone can be a part of the information and the decisions as a full group.
Will you have more meetings or sessions to kind of find out what happens with the trailer bills, or what does it look like for you to, because right now we're approving this for this fiscal year, but we just had an action. So you could pop that in there now, or how does that work? What does it look like with all those pieces of new information? Like we're just
So if there's a significant difference in the budget, we would have a
Bring it back.
45-day budget revision. So basically our August meeting, we would bring back, like, here are the major changes. It won't be the whole budget package, but it would just be
Gotcha.
kind of updated, like MYP and some of those pieces, so that there's a little more clear understanding. I would assume, given the amount of one-time money in some of those pieces, we may want to do that this year, because the picture is going to be a bit different. So.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's fine, because I was wondering myself, I mean, I know about the 45-day revision. I'm just not familiar with like what pushes it to be one or not be one, or if it's maybe just for transparency
I think it's more
purposes.
transparency. There's not a clear,
It's not like a demarc, this is a rounding error
Okay.
versus this is a
Yeah,
plotted up.
but I think given the amount of one-time, well, just the change in funding from what we have in front of us, because
right.
we figured on a 2.87% COLA, and it ended up being, nobody's disputing that it'll be a 4.31%. You know, some of those pieces that are just different. And that's not across the board. That's only an LCFF fund, you know. And there'll be the special education funding. You know, I mentioned to you that might have about a $500,000 impact on the budget positively. I was at a meeting last week that was confirmed that it would actually be, it's pretty close. It was like 540,000. So that will relieve some of the general fund pressure on the remainder of the budget as well. So I feel all in all that this is probably the bleakest it will look, and then if we get better, then we'll do our work in the budget committee to kind of come up with a plan for what the future years are going to look like. Because I've been trying to get from the county just some kind of study on birth rates so that we can project a little bit further out.
It's not looking good.
It doesn't look good throughout.
The whole state.
Yeah, everything's looking down for the most part in more settled areas, and then areas where there's new development are the only places that are really growing. So you look at some of the Central Valley places and whatnot, and they're growing because they have plenty of land just to continue building out on.
So it's more affordable.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So can we get a motion to approve the budget?
I move to approve the 2026-27 budget.
Second, thank you for the narrative slides, by the way, very helpful.
Any public comment or any further discussion?
There is no.
Okay. Roll call vote then, please.
Trustee Salem?
Aye.
Trustee Paoli?
Yes.
Trustee Schneider?
Yes.
Motion
Moving up to 9.3, Resolution 2615, Education Protection Act.
Okay, so the EPA is just a portion of the funds that are already in our budget and our local control funding formula. This is just an annual resolution that basically says that we're not spending it on anything that it's not supposed to be spent on. You can't spend it on buildings. You can't spend it. It has to go to fund people supporting students. So.
I move to approve education protection account, resolution 2615.
Second,
Any public comment? Anything?
There is no.
All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Schneider?
yes.
Trustee Salem?
Aye.
And Trustee Paoli?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, we removed 9.4, so 9.5, QKA contract change order for Redwood.
So somehow on our Redwood project, we missed approving this change order. We couldn't find any record of it. It is a credit back to the district for about $248, $852. So
You like that change order?
yeah, it's. I would obviously recommend that we approve this. And
So do we not get the money back until we approve this?
no, it's already. I think we've already been
Yeah,
credited
it's
on
already.
the new project.
I
that's
remember him
in.
telling us about it, so I felt like
Yeah.
that's why we felt like because I remember him saying that we actually had a credit, and I was like, wow,
Yeah.
credit
I
on
was ready to
construction?
approve a negative change order.
Yeah, it's something in the code that just says we have to approve all change orders.
Awesome.
And it does a change order, so therefore, because, I mean, I can see where it's like there's a change order because we deleted the scope of something and then we don't go, hey, this was in the original scope, what happened?
Yeah.
We deleted it. You know, so that makes sense.
I'll make a motion to approve the QKA contract change order number 001 for Redwood Elementary.
And I will second.
Any public comment or anything?
There is no public.
All right, any further discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Bailey?
Yes.
Trustee Schneider?
Yes.
And trustee Stevens?
Aye.
Motion
All right, 9.6, school site marquee sign proposal.
All right, so in front of you, there is, because this one came in a little late, the quote from Fort Bragg Electric for running the electricity to some of the signs for the setup. All in all, the total cost for installation and purchase of the signs will be just shy of $150,000. But that is refreshing, brand new sign and computer at middle school and high school, and then the other sites getting
Which they've been
new
wanting
installations.
20 years.
So we need new ones in the high school?
What this will do, if we align all of them together, then we can do, from a safety standpoint, like our safety app will broadcast out to all of them. So if we go into a lockdown, and we can literally have the message on our marquees, we can have it.
Is general, so, you know, like, general fund money is going into it?
So it's coming from Fund 25, yeah, which is set aside specifically for building improvements.
100%.
So, is it just varying,
Gosh,
the
this
school
weekend.
campuses didn't choose, or is it, because some of them are cheaper than others? Is
So,
that just because of the space they have
Some-
to utilize, or what?
so like Dana Gray, we have, the sign company we're working with has an existing cabinet there, like the one that it sits in. And so they have some that
So they're saving dollars for that.
doesn't have to do any digging or anything,
Gotcha.
they're just going to plug into that one. Same thing, high school and middle school will use the existing
Gotcha.
infrastructure. At Alted, it'll be mounted to the outside of the building, on the wall inside the office there. And then, Redwood will be the only one that we have to put in like a new structure.
They've been wanting one for.
Well, I'm happy to hear this because when we met with some Redwoods folks, they really wanted.
This has been a big thing for a while.
Yeah.
So we
Messaging.
just said, we just really need to do this. And I've tried to manipulate all the other funding to be able to figure it out.
We don't want to be able to hack in and write in their own messages going on.
I don't think so. I mean, there's always a way,
Always
I
a
think, but
possibility,
I don't,
Scott.
you know, I think we'll have a pretty secure system knowing our, make sure it's.
What happens to the old sign? Not the old, what happens to the old digital signs?
Yeah, they'll just be, I mean, they've had to go in and replace a lot of the stuff, components and stuff on them, so it's tough.
Yeah, they're just e-waste after that. It's never been recycled.
So, yeah, hopefully these are improved.
Yeah.
They'll last a little bit. Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the school site marquee sign proposal as presented.
I will second.
Renee, is there any public comment on this item?
There's no public comment.
Is there any additional discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Bailey?
Yes.
Trustee Stevens?
Aye.
And trustee Schneider?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, 9.7, advanced network device and speakers district-wide purchase proposal.
Okay, so the speakers that you see here will be updated. These come in and actually have a little display, so at some point we could actually put video through to them. We're not really paying any more for that. Like I asked Ari, he's like, well, you can get the ones without it, and they're like, I don't know, $10 cheaper or something like that. It's just, they're just going to this as the standard. We can no longer update our software running on the back end because it doesn't talk to these speakers any longer. And we tried everything we could for a workaround for that. And so we'll have some more capabilities with these speakers as well. And this also includes our updating the outdoor speakers. So this will get us up to speed on things. We'll be able to, again, do some more messaging in the classrooms.
It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money for them.
And it's Fund 17 is what would be the balance of that?
So that would leave, let me see, what's our total here? So that would leave about $120,000, I think, specifically in the technology side of funds.
Okay, so that's tech.
So
Yeah.
I just have a clarifying question.
Yes.
On the budget slide, Fund 17 says That's the board reserve.
So there's two parts of Fund 17. There's the board reserve, and then we have the technology. If you remember, there were a couple of years back, Wendy
Yes,
had us put
yes,
some money
yes,
over
yes.
and
Squirrel, call it
specifically
squirreling away.
for technology needs, knowing that something like
It
this
would
would be
happen,
coming
so
up.
that's where this is, so it's not coming out of the board reserve.
It's not coming out of the board reserve. It's just different resource in the same fund.
Yeah, because that was a question to know. We haven't really had a big tech upgrades in the sense of, I don't know where we're at with Chromebooks and all those day-to-day stuff. We're okay.
Yeah, Chromebooks we were able to update year, 2 years ago.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it
so-
might be due coming,
Yeah, we can get about 5 years
Five,
out. of them.
okay,
Yeah, so
okay.
we've got some time to.
okay, to build back up.
To build
How do we
back up.
build this back up? How do we build that back up?
And it's not like there's a huge AI problem causing memory data shortages that is raising all the prices of electronics right now or anything.
No, nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
And like I said, if this weren't absolutely necessary, Ari has really been working this
Safety.
problem for like a year, trying to figure out any other way to not have to replace all of these, and
Okay.
it just.
It's pretty,
Aren't a lot of the military nuclear codes on like 5.25 inch floppy just because it's security through obsolescence? Same way,
Right.
these speakers will never be hacked if we can't get the software updated.
That's right. But anyway.
And for future slides, when there's a dual
Subcategory.
purpose for the funds, I will make sure that I indicate that.
Great.
It is indicated in the Form 17 SACS form though.
Okay, thank you.
We can get a motion for that item.
I move
9.7.
to approve the advanced network device speakers district-wide purchase proposal.
I'll second.
Renee, any public comment on this?
There is no.
All right, any additional discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Schneider?
Yes.
Trustee Statham?
Aye.
Trustee
Yes.
motion carries.
All right, moving on to 9.8, purchase of real property between North Coast Opportunities, Inc. and FBUSD.
All right, so we settled on a price of $25,000 to relinquish the federal interest in the building there, which primarily was around the fact that 2 years ago they put on a brand new roof. So that was the only federal interest in any of it. However, the building is in exceptionally good shape. I did another walkthrough today. It's
We try to argue if they want the roof, they can come get it themselves.
well, I thought about that, but then I was like,
Yeah,
this is still a very reasonable
All
sum
right.
for all of the improvements that have been done over
Fair
there. So, and like I said, they've taken very good care of the building, so we're not inheriting like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have
We're
to.
gonna have to spend a bunch of
Spend a
money on
bunch
this.
What will you do with this?
So we're planning, rather than, in the community schools grant, we wrote in, I think it was $800,000 to refurbish the Alt Ed office whenever they vacated. We won't have to do that. So we'll open up some opportunity within that grant to either extend services or to maybe look at adding some of the things that maybe we're paying for out of the general fund side into that. So it gives us just some flexibility within that. We'll have to spend a little bit because there are things like the bathroom only has a half door because it was for preschool where
Little
we had to have
Visuals.
visual supervision, and we
Mm,
don't have to do that anymore. So we'll put in a full-size door, but minor, not a lot of things need to happen there. So
I'm sure they will appreciate the door.
yes,
And I'm glad we don't have to haul it off or anything, but that's usually about what it costs to haul it off.
well, and that's kind of where I was
It's like,
like,
it's a wash.
so if we don't pay you, you're gonna spend
Yeah, right.
$30,000 on this.
To move them.
So it's gonna be offices or what's it gonna be?
So it'll be, the intent is to have some offices, because it's already broken into that on one side, and then the other side be like a parent education space and a space that we can have just community engagement type thing. So I was thinking, might be a fun place to have a board meeting at some point.
I was gonna say, because we're gonna lose this room, right?
Right, so because this is gonna go back to a classroom.
Mm.
Our next meetings are right now planned for the district office conference room where we met in
Oh, that's right, okay.
September.
September,
Yeah.
I think it was.
So, and we're getting that more in shape, so we'll have some consistent furniture, but yeah, we've got to use this as the classroom next year because it's
So this new building wouldn't work for permanent.
I think it's gonna work better for the community schools program, just being right there on the campus for Redwood. The back door literally opens to the playground, so when we're having family events,
But
kiddos
that's
can have
nice.
supervision, but play in a safe space.
Yeah.
It's really ideal for the purpose. As much as I was like, love to be able to put the district office there or something. It just didn't make a lot of sense. You know,
You guys want to go to playground at lunch? Come on, I know.
I can still go over there.
I would.
That's true. I might have a visitor's pass, but.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so
It's just a
I
nice one.
make a motion to purchase the real property between North Coast Opportunities and FBUSD.
I'll second.
All right, Renee, any public comment?
There's no.
All right, any additional discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Statham?
Aye.
Trustee Schneider?
Yes.
And trustee Cody? Motion carries.
Item 9, proposal to revise procedure for intra-district transfers.
Okay, so we discussed this one last week and I didn't have all of the attachments there.
A lot of
Now, all the
attachments.
attachments are there to consider just about every different
Scenario.
that will come up. So, again, I think this will just work better for our students, for our parents, and for our district. So I think it's a win-win all the way around. The process works pretty well right now, but this just makes a couple of adjustments that have been kind of pain points for folks. So,
Bring more clarity and kind of know what expectations are. And
yeah, and help the student and parent kind of walk through the process a little easier rather than saying, here's a bunch of forms, get back to us when you got those filled out. You know, that doesn't
more.
feel very supportive.
Yeah. Comparison.
Can we get a motion to?
I'll make a motion to approve the proposal to revise procedure for intra-district student transfers.
And a second.
Do we have any public comment? Renee?
There's no.
All right, any discussion on these items?
No.
All right, then Renee, roll call, please.
Trustee Cody?
Yes.
Trustee Statham?
Aye.
And trustee Schneider?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, 10.1 EPAR updates for CSBA May 2026.
So this is our first reading, obviously. Some of these need to be in place for the start of the school year, but we have our August meeting that we can have that in place before things start.
It's true.
So no worries there. Just trying to think. So there's the volunteer
It's a big piece, but you've been talking
training
about
that's
that.
going in. Yeah. So we've known that's coming. That's not nothing surprising there. If you're reading over it, we did actually confirm we do not provide workers' comp for volunteers, so that section won't be in there. So if you're reading over the packet and saw that, that's
Well, I was just, it seemed like it triggered if there's a volunteer during the school time that would be alone with kids and you know, for some of the mandated reporting, and I'm thinking that really doesn't happen.
it doesn't.
So-
Though we tend to follow the
More so strict,
most
yeah, which makes sense.
restrictive
Yeah, Because the men
interpretations.
now they're mandated reporters and they were never
Yeah.
before, which
Or-
is kind of odd,
If they walk with a kid to the office or something like that.
right?
Like,
I mean, for that moment, for the 3 minutes, but I guess there must have been a case in the past that it wouldn't have allowed and got messy. Or something.
for the most part, it comes from volunteer coaches.
But usually we've always had them as, right? They were always mandated reporters.
Not necessarily, but there are some actions with volunteer coaches have taken in the state that have gotten folks into trouble. It hasn't been locally, but it's just,
Yeah,
that's
That's
where it
reflection.
should span from what I understand, so.
Background, what was the other one that was? So the bathrooms, we have that all available.
Yes, we just need to, once we have the exhibit approved, we'll post that notice in each of the bathrooms that identify as the all gender restroom for the site.
And then the new information on their cards, the student cards.
Oh, we've had
That's easy. It's already been done.
We've been
Yeah,
doing that
you're
since
ahead.
last year.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we print our own cards.
I don't get to see the cards anymore. So I was like,
So-
oh, I guess they're doing it.
Yeah.
I gave them one. Well, I didn't look online on the back of it. I'm not a student. I didn't know I
Yeah,
had
I was
the
gonna say,
same.
I don't think
I didn't think I had the
I
same
don't think
recs.
the staff cards, we worried about that, but all the student cards have it.
It's on every card.
It's on every card. I have to look at my card.
Because it's got the suicide
Numbers.
numbers, the mental health numbers, the QR code. So if a student doesn't have their ID, they can use the back and stuff.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's smart. That's smart.
What about the board member authority?
That is funny.
None.
This is very clear. This is already in our handbook.
I was gonna say, I don't think it really.
This is
does
already in
anything
our
differently
handbook.
than
It
what-
just basically
it's already
says you
outlined.
can't just start doing your own investigation, Scott. And we're only one person. And yeah, it's already, we already have it in our handbooks. I don't know why they're really clarifying it.
I mean, I guess what I caught my eyes the last sentence, bylaw updated to provide additional limitations, procedures, and expectations related to instances when an individual board member observes or volunteers in a classroom in which the board member's child is enrolled. So I don't know, that's just kind of what caught my.
Right, well, and we're already doing mandated reporter
Yeah.
stuff, because I think some districts didn't really follow that.
Okay.
In gathering from the legal call I listened to, that they didn't have their board, because I always thought it was from day one, we were always doing that. I thought, well, we're not even in the classroom with kids. So,
And there's been a couple of boards in the state who've kind of overstepped their authorities as individual members,
Mm.
speaking as the board.
mhm.
And that's happened in some spots that I've heard about, and I was like, I'm so glad that my board does not do that.
We know our role.
So you guys get lots of praise, even I was talking to Nicole about you guys last week, and she's like, you don't have to worry about that with your board. I know
This
the
is
more
happening
about-
other places.
Not a worry,
Don't worry,
So-
Joe, we got an election coming. There's always a chance.
Always a chance.
Things can change, exactly right.
That's right.
Exactly right. That's all 500 pages of it,
Yes.
so we can peruse it.
Yeah, and let me know if you have any questions before August. We can follow.
All right, 11-1, board reports. Exciting things happening in the last week.
I don't think I have
think I have.
anything to report.
Yeah, not much happening.
I was gonna say, it's been pretty quiet on our front. We've been just trying to get everything closed out.
All right, moving on to advanced planning suggestions for future board meetings.
We got a date, July? Did that work out?
July, thank you for your
Yeah, 30th?
flexibility and your help. Yes, the date is coming any minute.
To a theater area.
We ended up on July 29.
Was it? I thought it was the 30th.
Sorry, July 30, sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yes.
July 30 was when
Yes,
you
yes.
were.
What
Sorry,
time?
I'm sitting sideways.
It's good.
July 30 at 12:30.
Hmm.
That was the time that everyone was able, unless Scott was able to change his schedule. So
It's here, or are we gonna be at the district?
we can be here.
So Thursday.
We can still use this room.
Okay.
If that is what the board wishes to do, or we can be in a different.
We should eat lunch ahead of time.
Can you have lunch ahead of time?
We should eat.
Yeah, we
that's
should,
one.
just to be more efficient.
Eat lunch ahead of time. Okay.
Yeah, just
How
have.
do you get lunch?
Yeah, bring some snacks and drinks.
So what is our time that we're spending? What's
2
the
hours,
time?
2 hours.
2 hours?
About 2 hours, yeah.
2 hours, okay. So I can budget it.
Yep.
So it's still.
Nicole will come up in person, and then we're gonna meet the following week with our admin team on the 6th. So we'll be able to take any suggestions or thoughts from that meeting and have it right in their hands. And then I'll be able to meet with you the following week after that to
Okay.
close that loop, so.
All right, well, that takes us to 11.4, our walking tour of the new Alt-Ed campus.
All right.
And before we do that, what is the date of the first of our August meeting?
13th.
August 13th.
Can you, if I don't attend the tour, can you still adjourn after? You want to adjourn now?
It's up to you.
I have
Or we can postpone the.
I have to go back to
I mean,
work.
if you're- Yeah.
So,
I mean, Diana, if you need to get stuff or anything, or we can go, whoever can.
We can just quickly go over, but I don't think we can just
Yeah,
adjourn over
if you
there.
leave, we can just adjourn because it's not a quorum anymore.
Yeah, and you, as soon as you leave, we're,
Yeah, we can adjourn now and then we can go over as a committee if we
'Cause
want.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be agenda
Yeah,
at that point,
yeah.
so
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
gone.
it's all on the open up.
All right,
So I
we'll,
shall move at 6:56
I'll
to
second.
adjourn.
all right,
Sorry,
we're adjourned at
No
6:06.
problem.
owners in town too. So.
Oh,
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well, we also had.
a little more nervous.